Hello, Dith Da, and welcome to today's awards ceremony. We hope you've had a good time today and at last night's party, and there aren't too many sore heads today. My name is Tiffany Truscott. I'm from BBC Radio Cornwall. Tiffany Truscott ofi SOFI the Worth BBC Radio Kerno. Hope you're enjoying Yuki. Mae werth math SOV Athowyn Tewan Blistra. Has anyone been surfing? No. Rasawi More Watha. Now, last time I was at the awards was 11 years ago. I was nominated for an award. I didn't win it, but by being here today, I can say I've made it to the stage at last. If you are lucky enough to win this evening, please look out for one of our lovely volunteers because they will want to take you away to get your photograph taken. Now, the talks that will be awarded today are in the sound categories, which are Factual Series, Entertainment and Sports Programme. And in screen, we'll be announcing the winners of the Factual Entertainment, Comedy, History, Live Music Programme and Children's Programme categories. And I want to say good luck, Chons Da, to everyone. We'll kick off today's Broadcast Awards with the Factual Entertainment category, and the nominees are...
Well, ta sha Factual, an Teirfort is stisher an dón le hetil tistál, sin Airfort Hunangal.
Seo fágur bhg me daine na bhála, ar cartarí, seo gáilanta.
Our pilot said the scenic view was so good I forgot I was flying the plane.
Chúl an disise seo tá seirbhis riachtanach a cheanglan den ngáil se go gelad an dón.
Hai sóirichte an seo, smílim hín a tílacal scliatan gus dawnsa múlach an uisce. Roie va córstí cheoris a cóstrí le fuaman nátar. A chanoch siad fuaman bracatí chintíine, slúsrug nan stúgan, agus na heáine céilerig a hana náte. Ha ma bheitthe go má jefrachan is, a chást lán de rút an prísal.
Bhí roiin, channe bhain múlach cricéin a múlach slí ach teach bhí bícin mar siad, as an ár céad tíimech láist, ár fót agus as de cheann. Se rút tserc agus rút cuachgach a bheith siad. Ghainich mi gorá mi an náte sóirichte agus nach crinneolalas a rút ar sin bhráthrícht sa bheithe seo.
The headline star, it's the Sun Wednesday, September, larger than life diva. Best girl singer on the show by far, says Sharon Hendry, but she's big, beautiful and looks set to throw her weight behind this thematic change in pop history for the very beginning. So from really early on in the competition, I was aware that my weight was, pardon the pun, a huge problem. You know, being overweight was just a kind of stick to beat you with. It was the first thing the media picked up on.
Tá mé tuachsús go dtína síl sí tráchtan is. Stad Gerald. Then dé. Tá malfunction.
Má chunta ceistern ar na páistí agus í trí na ceir bliain dis. Céad dálam tú a nniu picture níor ólam mé aon rud mar ní écann siad ar mar ólam ach sinna tá ar siúil insan lína tá stig fólam tríd an sprí.
Parademos para levar áncoras. Isto é pesca total.
Bueno, veña, son as 5 da mañá, xa estamos pasados, vamos tarde. Veña, vamos baixar o hielo tamén, desmarrar e hai que largarse nun vez.
Yeah! O'r fjord stunning I goedwigoedd godidog ac arfordir anhygoel. Mae Scandinavia di bod yn galw'n enwi ers tro wan. Pam? Chos mae'n cael ei nabod am beth o fwyd gora'r byd. A dwi isio bita a cwcio fo I gyd.
Hwyl ar hwnna.
Now, the first juror I'm going to welcome to the stage, they say Cornwall is a small place, a small world, it really is. He gave me my first job at the BBC. Please give a warm welcome to Leo Devine to talk about this category.
God out, my phone doesn't conk out. And I think I may email the winners to my entire contacts book, but we'll persevere. What an amazing... Must try stand up. What an amazing array of programmes, absolutely fabulous. This year's entries in the Factual entertainment category were as varied as they were compelling, each bringing its own unique spark to the screen. We revisited a true pop culture phenomenon with Michelle McManus, talent show winners, a warm, nostalgic journey through the highs and lows of a Scottish icon's career. Bothan Fadruic was a beautiful and gentle journey to Scotland to see sensational scenery and breathtaking waterways, not to mention some delicious food along the way. Then there was more energy than a nuclear reactor in the Scandi journey of Chris Flamebaster Roberts on another of his truly brilliant and completely breathless-making journeys of cooking at its very tasteful best. We witnessed the wonderful world of Nionra, an Irish language preschool, where children start with absolutely no Irish whatsoever, and we followed their steps as eventually they became fluent in their second language. Next, we experienced the sheer terror of rock climbing thrills in Darna, another beautiful exposition of one of our glorious Celtic countries. And then we travelled to one of the world's most breathtakingly beautiful airports, where we were 2 years ago, Airport Donegal, which is really lovely as well. And finally, there was something completely different, Pesca Total from Galicia, which took us out to sea, not just as spectators, but alongside a crew of brave novices learning the ropes on one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. With jeopardy, competition, humour and grit, it combined elements of reality TV, adventure and cultural documentary in a way we haven't quite seen before. It was absolutely mad, but absolutely brilliant. The winner of this year's talk for Factual Entertainment is, from Galicia, Pesca Total.
Wonderful Nuki, and thank to the jury for this choice. I know it's always difficult, and this is a story about recognizing the job of the fishermen that they come out. They used to, in Galicia, this kind of fishing boats used to get out by night and come early in the morning, back with their collection, their harvest, and they made a story like a contest out of it, and it became thrilling, and it was also a way for showing citizens in the cities and in the comfortable homes to see how hard it is to fish and to get this food to them every morning. So thank you very much. It's really exciting to get this award, and I give the award very short to Iago, who is the producer from Outro, producing company which is not based on the coastline. It's on an inland company, but they know much about the sea too.
Only thank you for this award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Keslowena. Now, let's have a look at the nominees for the next category, which is history.
Houbo un tempo no que falar de puros habanos era falar de empresarios da Mariña, de emigrantes que posuían aquí as máis importantes fábricas de tabaco produtoras dos puros que se alzaban cos primeiros premios nas exposicións mundiais de Amberes, París ou Londres. Hai 100 anos, os mellores habanos do mundo eran fabricados en Cuba por emigrantes da Mariña. La Flor del Puro Habano, la Meridiana, la Diligencia ou Partagás pertencían a Antonio Villamil da Pontenova, a Pedro Murias e Pedro Moreda da Devesa, e a Pancho Pego, de Ortigueira.
Maar ik was geen pot gehouden. Had jij pot gehouden? Dat bedoelt. Wel, heb ik het veel. Ik heb hier langs een tree, zo'n karabijn. Ik got sores at the Spitfire.
I'm Bill's son. I've come along to support him and I'm thrilled for him. He's getting on a bit now. He's pretty youthful for a 90-year-old, so I think he can still manage.
So the guys were down watching the bucket. One of them shouts out to me, Alan, halt, halt. I've got him. And I ran down, and there was a pair of cavalry twill trousers with bones sticking out of them. The very last afternoon of the very last day, we have found what we've come for.
A helicopter with 29 people on board has crashed in the west of Scotland. It hit a hill in thick fog. An eyewitness reported hearing...
25 really key individuals responsible for intelligence in Northern Ireland had been wiped out at a stroke.
The Army had lost 9 senior officers, 10 RUC, all of them special branch, 5 MI5, 1 civil servant, and then you had the 4-person crew. All gone.
Dyna lle o'n ni ar y flaen y gad, efo'r llun iconic na sydd wedi bod ym mhob papur newydd, efo Michael Cashman, Ian McKellen a finne ar flaen y gad o cymol 28 yn gwrthryfela ar y brotest mawr oedden ni'n dall bron I ddim amdano fo.
What makes you think we will go quietly back into the closet? It is you now who must fear us. And who the hell's going to get a closet big enough for all of us?
Will explode the cortex, and the cortex in turn will detonate the gelignite and convert it. That causes your
They said
explosion.
if any separate parts of the film were attempted to be taken separately to America, that we would be all shot at the airport. We're going to kill you.
Dyn ni dal ddim yn gwybod beth yw'r peth gorau I wneud, ag falle oherwydd bod ni ddim yn gofyn I pobl yn abol, ddim yn nhw angen, a fi ddim eisiau cael. A mae just y diffyg hawliau I pobl cael wneud penderfyniadau fel be maen nhw'n cael I swper, be maen nhw eisiau gwisgo. Pwy maen nhw'n garu. Os maen nhw'n cael cysgu efo'i gilydd, cael teimlo pleser. Oh.
Continuing in the Cornwall is a very small place, I'd like to ask one of my former colleagues, Charlie Fripp, to talk about this category.
Da hadjid dda pobonin. Enw yw the Vosoma, the representative and jury in class history. It's an honour to be here to represent the jury in the history category. History programmes bring the past to life and help us understand the present. This year's varied shortlist took us on an incredible journey with compelling stories and expert storytelling, which stayed with us. In A Grande Epopea de Galicia, we learnt about the Galician exodus, covering hundreds of thousands of Galicians who left their homeland with dreams of a better future. And in Ifrodia, Story Anableth, we were shown powerful testimony of the untold story of disability in Wales. From Scotland, the charming Bill Argus and Spitfire brought history to life through the touching and personal journey of one man's lifelong ambition to fly a Spitfire. From BBC Northern Ireland, in Chinook Zulu Delta 576, we learnt about the impact of a horrific helicopter crash in the Mull of Kintyre, which wiped out top intelligence personnel and led to a fight for truth and justice. In Face Down, the killing of Thomas Niedermayer, we were given powerful and insightful accounts of intergenerational trauma. In Paid a Dweud Hoyw from Wales, we saw the impact of Clause 28 and were asked important questions about whether society has changed 20 years since its abolition. In The Secret Army, the programme skillfully told us the story of a rediscovered, groundbreaking film that was made in the midst of the worst violence of the Troubles, and we were taken on a journey which included shadows of British intelligence, the CIA, and even Mossad. This year's entries were thought-provoking, challenging, and beautifully crafted. Each of them offered new insights into different times, incredible research, and the very highest production values. However, there was one entry that stood out for its new and personal handling of relatively recent history in a way that asked questions about how much has changed. Gwainye and Torc rag history o'th Gúl Media Celtic Dúvil Pimpón Ugans U, the winner of the Talk for History at the Celtic Media Festival 2025 is Paid Adwaith Hoyw.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, o'n i'n disgwyl hwnna o gwbl. Thank you so much, Celtic Media, for this honour. Paid a Dweud Hoyw, Don't Say Gay, was born from a need to revisit a dark chapter in our recent past, Clause 28, and to give a voice to those silenced for too long. Diolch, Stephen, for opening your heart and for taking us on this personal journey through history. This is for you and for everyone else who told us their story and shared it with us. Diolch yn fawr hefyd I Llun Swyn yn Ysbydrec am bob cymorth a cefnogaeth fel arfer. And thanks to the fantastic team behind the programme at Rondo Media, Luned Phillips, Sean Lewis, Nia, Tony, Freddie, and also to Gareth Williams and Sean Clwyd for all their support. Diolch yn fawr I chi. We're proud to have made this for S4C, bringing queer Welsh stories to the fore in our language, proving hopefully that history is not just something we inherit, but something we must continue to challenge. Let's keep telling those stories that were never meant to be told. Diolch yn fawr I chi.
Diolch, Carol. If ever you're going to open up your heart, your sexuality, and put all your trust in somebody's hands, it's into this one's hands, you do so. Diolch, Carol. A diolch, Llunos. Diolch, Ysbydrec. You win some and you lose some. We've won an award now, but earlier I was very upset because I lost an ice cream to a seagull. I can't believe at the age of 62, I am here now holding something that means so much to me. There was such a personal journey when I spent nearly half my life totally in the closet and living in a small mining village in North Wales, thinking not only I was the only gay in the village, but I was the only gay in the world. Things have moved on a lot, but I even got some homophobic abuse the other day in the newspaper because we'd done the first gay kiss on British telly, and to that man who was abusing me online, a big kiss from me, and look what we've done. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Ceslywena, congratulations. Now, the next presentation, next up is the sound category, is sports programme. So let's have a listen to these nominees.
And they're off. There are fast runners, there are strong runners, there are front runners, there are tacticians, there are finishers with a big kick. There's a man in the field who's 40 years old, and there's a boy in the field who's 14 years old.
Reputations are huge in the marathon, right? And everyone was there in this room.
The camera is following Miss O as she struggles to climb an almost vertical wall of rock covered in snow and ice.
I was so exhausted when I stood on top of Annapurna. I thought I would roar because it was my last climb. I wanted to, but my voice just didn't come out.
Buint mór ag clán sogí na le leis an club agus a mollas agad seo ag arc ar liam ag emmert leis an Ganzi club Cosala and Yarharaha, Tab Broad and Dawn, or Ni Huckulum, Vin McCree, Lan Lebrode, Ahan Alashak, nor Akamse Gulligan Trainail, nor Akamse Gamercha Clahy, Fi a bunch trail as Skillan Anua, Tasha Specialty.
Our first Algarve Cup, 2002. Couldn't believe that we were allowed to go to a final tournament. We get to the tournament, we each receive an envelope for 10 days. We open the envelope and there's £10 in it. So we had £1 a day expenses. At the time, we were mortified. We didn't say a word because we were actually in the tournament.
I've always been ashamed of my disability, and I think that when people talk about 2012 and the legacy of Paramount Sport, that is what changed, because I always
having the confidence as well, realising you're unique.
and I saw a young girl running across in a pair of shorts with two prosthetic legs out, and I was like, well, there's your legacy.
And that was you.
That's your legacy. I didn't wear a pair of shorts. I was 17.
Euro Dabil agus céad ríce a crochu in the game of Sean the Cologne. There's a place
Let's welcome now Barbara Donnacha to the stage to announce the winner.
Very Margaret, thank you very much. And I just know from this wonderful festival that it's just a case that we don't have a connection yet. It's just whenever I come to Celtic Media Festival, it's friends and connections that come out of this. And it's always an honour to get to, and a privilege to get to listen to radio entries that are the best of the best. And it's difficult, but it's a very easy yes, you know. Yeah, I will do it. And I'm delighted to be standing here in front of you today on behalf of the international jury and sports programme, 6 very strong nominees. The variety and variation and competition in the sports programme category. Sport is personal, local, international, and as you know, I see a lot of you here in the rooms that work in it full time, the highs and the lows, and I was brought to highs and climbed peaks with chasing mountains, and we got history and stories of in chapters of magnificence, which was just that, significant and magnificent events, and the iconic, the rise of the women in red. We journeyed with the team, you know, in Wales and women's international football, and the closest I'm going to get, certainly not as a sports person, is through these wonderful programmes, and how close can we get with Cliffy the Hawk. And there may be some people here who are better sports people than I am, but this is how I journey in through sport. And we got a lot of human experience, you know, and bringing the games to all, and through the beautiful medium that is radio. The conversation between 3-time Paralympian champions and Olivia Breen's Paris Diaries, and reporting from Germany, important football games, you know, highlighted again the local level, Glasgow Warriors and Spurs in the Seachtain. And I'm just hoping now I have mentioned all 6, have I? That's one of my worries when I'm coming up here. But there's never many worries, because I know that I'm it's just such a privilege and an honour. And I just want to say, like, for each and every one of the nominees, we know how difficult it is to put together these brilliant sports programmes and then to get a nomination at the Celtic Media Awards. So thank you all for the excitement and passion and dedication to bring these sports programmes to us, the listener, and a big bullabus for all the nominees first. And just to mention the warmth that was in this entry, there's a lot I could say about it. I do truly feel friendly enough to call her Livy. BBC Sport Wales and BBC Radio Wales and BBC Sounds. Olivia Breen's Paris Diaries is the winner.
I'm not actually the producer of the programme. I'm here on behalf of Tom Brown, who made this programme. I'm head of Radio Wales and Sport, and I'm so proud. This is actually the 3rd time we're taking this home back to Wales. So I'm taking this as a triple crown, which is far more than our rugby team can achieve at the moment. Also, Mark Poyser was on the shortlist who won 2 years ago with his brilliant series on our football team. I'm so proud of the passion for storytelling in our team and the creativity and the craft they put into it. And Tom's actually poorly. He couldn't be here today. So I said, what would you like to say? He said, well, I'd obviously thank you for commissioning it. I said, yeah, obvs. I'd like to thank Ella West, he said, who worked with me on it as well, our assistant editor. But most of all to Livy. We knew she was a superstar on the track. Now we know she's a superstar presenter as well, and this is for her. Thank you so much. Diolch o galon.
Kesawena, congratulations. Now, the next talk presentation today is for comedy, which reminds me, did you know Mary Poppins was down at the Ocean Cafe just down the road earlier today? Did you hear about that? No. Well, she went in and ordered some cauliflower cheese and 2 poached eggs, which, of course, raised a few eyebrows. And she ate them. She made a few faces while she was eating the eggs. And at the end, when she came to ask for her bill, and they asked her what the food was like, she said, well, super cauliflower, but the eggs were quite atrocious. Clearly, the comedy here will be much better than mine. Let's have a look now at what's been making you laugh this year.
So there I was, frozen under the ice. I came back from the dead.
He hasn't talked for half a century.
2 words. British Bulldog.
We can't talk about this tomorrow because you ran over my son.
She's clipped him.
Next window.
My next window's tomorrow night. Over.
Can't hit on all the mums.
Not just the single ones.
Chara mi dylgra, dyni sy'n byd am hoga. Mi dylch yn hi, fes yn gyfil ac iad mi leid falofach, bydd mi gwyf ergyd son y fedrol.
Na gafel sydd yr agman ysyn. Haniel yn car sio rwy'r petrol. Ach, Peyton Diesel.
Water, I thought I could smell a funny burning from the foot. A collie dog came running out from behind the church. There's the hawker.
We have cheesy puffs, we have bacon bites, we have sausages. Oh, there she is. My wee angel.
You look brilliant, love.
Isn't she a star? And isn't she a...
Straight side princess. Yes, I am. Loud and proud.
Say 45. We're leaving. Buchanan's. Assemble.
Now, we already know he's good at stand-up. I'd like to invite Leo Devine back to talk about the winner of this category.
By the way, I should have welcomed you to our beautiful home of Cornwall, by the way, when I first spoke. And if you haven't yet been attacked by a seagull, we are offering that facility later if you want to avail yourselves of it. Comedy, and again, brilliant lineup as well, but comedy can be one of the most revealing and rewarding genres at the Celtic Media Festival when it hits the mark. And it tells the truth in the most memorable way. It was a little bit disappointing, to be honest, that we only had 3 entries this year, but I'm sure that's going to be remedied in the next years. So in Mammoth, we met Tony Mammoth, a 1970s PE teacher who's been accidentally frozen for 40 years and returns to his old job as if nothing's changed. Sounds very familiar. Really raised a smile, occasionally stretching credulity, but performances, especially from Sean Gibson, who's absolutely brilliant, grounded in great comedy. Then came the B Team, a comedy that really struck a chord with me. As somebody from an Irish Catholic background, it was both funny and disarmingly familiar. Paddy's Dodgy Bet, Connor's Ill-Timed Date, and the First Communion Chaos all felt instantly recognisable. And finally, OMC Hogmanay Special, which offered a festive helping of sketch comedy with Annette and Maggie, once again going head-to-head. Cal Mack doing his usual, and Gail Cal offering her pearls of wisdom. A reminder of how distinctive Celtic language comedy can be when it embraces the surreal and also the local. So 3 very different comedies, approaches to comedy, each with its own voice and perspective. And the Celtic Festival Talk for Comedy this year goes to the B Team.
All right, thanks for this award. I just commissioned it, so there'll be nothing funny or insightful or emotionally engaging in this short speech. Eddie Doyle, Head of Commissioning at BBC Northern Ireland. I'm sure you're all familiar with my work. We will be here next year and probably picking up a clutch of these. We've got a new Head of Comedy, Jason Butler's up there. Give us a shout. Jason, whoa. Yeah, so he'll be mobbed at the end. Thanks for this. This is great. We love the B Team. Great script from Belfast's own Kieran Bartlett. Obviously some relation of yours. Shared the same cultural background and experiences. Wonderfully directed by David Moody. Production by Luke Mason and Steve Canny from BBC Studios. Great support from Andrew Reid and Richard Williams at Northern Ireland Screen. Thank you very much. And John Petrie and Seb Barwell at BBC Comedy. Wonderful cast as well, local cast, Joe Donnelly, Jared McCabe, Emer Bailey and Shane Convery. As you say, it's a great story of an ordinary West Belfast family, written in the vernacular, populated by warm, intelligent, authentic, working class characters. So we were thrilled to be able to support Kieran in bringing this to life, and delighted at the quality of the writing. We're delighted at the quality of the writing, the funniness of the final film have been recognised for the jury. So thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Ceslywena, congratulations. Continuing in Cornwall is a small place. I'm Cornish, Canuick. My husband is from Northern Ireland. And funnily enough, my mother-in-law was just over for a brief visit over the half term to stay with me and the boys. And they really weren't used to a wee dander every morning at 8 o'clock. I can tell you that. They're normally at home watching TV. Anyway, they can have a rest now. Maybe that's a possibility for a comedy, Cornish, Irish. Anyway, let's continue now to have a listen to the nominations for the category which is Factual Series Sound.
O fewn awr o fod yna, o'n i'n gwybod bod y fi ganser. Nath y doctor roi ultrasound i fi ar ymron a mynd yn syth. Ti angen mammogram. O'n i fel, nath y mola i troi. A fi'n cofio'r nyrs yn gweithio, have you got anyone with you? O'n i fel, no, should I have anyone with me? Ac yn amlwg, o'n i'n gwybod bod pethau ddim yn edrych yn dda.
Mum was trying to work out with Dad what had happened.
And I'm saying to Christina, go inside, because I didn't want her to see her father, as far as I knew, he dead. And she didn't want to go inside, so when I'm down with Miss Sorry.
If you give him a moment, he is getting his hand up. Can we shake hands? Yeah, absolutely. Padraig is sitting in a wheelchair. Slowly, he raises his hand to shake mine. Despite being non-verbal, Padraig understands everything. In fact, he can understand anything you say to him in 4 languages.
Brala mas mucho. Ke mahan. Nalasogum tasakushin keyaten that mommy's daddy. Tasogum nashan moami, but tachi moami, but tasogum nashan so ke masha. Kaisha was then chatamu inshan. Agus ritugoni smuchu. Kaleshma na kema. You know, Jarin Kaisha was dini inshan tam munchra.
When the day is done, and the sun has no warmth left in it, and the tide has turned its back on us, we will still feel the salt tight on our foreheads, the afterglow on our cheeks, and you forever in our hearts.
Annette Hewings finally took her first steps towards freedom.
I shouldn't have even been put in there in the first place. I've done nothing wrong. I got one thing to say to the whole world. Now find the real killers. We want the right killers. We want justice for Diane's family as well as our own.
I'd like now to invite Kevin Walker up to speak about the category.
Fáilte de bhíost. This year's Factual category was very moving, full of stories that stayed with us long after listening. Some heartbreaking, some inspiring, but all struck the jury with their emotional depth, the quality of production, and the range of subjects tackled with honesty and care. One When Two was a beautifully made podcast that addressed difficult themes with sensitivity. It was powerful, emotional, and an essential piece of content in bringing such an important topic of conversation to the audience in their native tongue. An Assassin Comes to Town impressed us with its tight production pacing, a sense of suspense, and it had us hooked and wanting more. A great example of how shorter format can still be impactful and leave a lasting impression. The essay, Forever Songs, Don't You Think We're Forever, was simply stunning, a poetic and profoundly moving tribute delivered with grace and beauty. Such a personal storytelling interwoven with music that stayed with us and brought a tear to the eye. Last One on the Train shone an important spotlight on the underrepresented issues of accessibility in Ireland, bringing a clear voice to a conversation that needs much more attention. Sul Namban was a gentle and heartfelt listen full of charm, humour and emotion, a brilliant insight into the stories of women from across the decades. Wrongly Accused, the Annette Hewins story brought us the powerful yet troubling story about a significant miscarriage of justice, shedding light on the personal cost of being caught in a deeply flawed system. This was a strong and affecting field, but the series that stood out for us was one we thought was just a fantastic concept, each episode giving voice to those who often go unheard, and bringing much needed focus to the fact that we have a long, long way to go to make our society truly accessible. The Torc for Factual series this year goes to Last One on the Train. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody from the team is here today, so it's becoming a bit of a theme with me, but I'll see that you get this later on. Thank you.
Let's have a listen now to the nominees for Entertainment in Sound.
E xa cando hai 20 anos de diferencia, o 95% das relacións
Non hai un que siga casado.
condenadas ao fracaso.
Aí xa non tens de que falar, si xa non é a mesma.
Joder, porque un deles vai po pataqueira, o sea, falando en prata. Ah, non é divorcio, é...
A ver, que 20 anos chega unha edad que a cousa se pon moi complexa.
Why, Chev, go Davis Soggin?
An chiad ceann, I'll poke you with my heart now.
Oh, dar...
An countdown of that. Auntie Mary had a canary up the leg of her drawers.
When she was sleeping, I was peeping up the leg of her drawers.
So shall it, bring me the radio, Auntie Mary.
Auntie Mary Walker.
Fe mi dyn o big am ramsgach, wel, ha mi hyn iolach i'r ysgyn a sio an top, agos cynnig jyst yn hedig, ac fe mi elefag yn lio siŵl, Lonely Planet, agos sien ia fi nio yn Aberystwyth achos yn son an top, Sleepy Backwater. Ilo hyn y gynda hyle si sin?
Mae hawawn i'r dy hyr laions, do.
Wel, yn eisiau fi, ha si mi gyda fiach yn i...
My round, I was up against a girl I had a crush on, and I beat her 1,500-0. That's scuppering my chances of her becoming my girlfriend. The prize for Tuckerband.
A lot of the males in my wider group did a lot of lockdown breaking for exactly that reason. And it was like, I'm not listening to Sturgeon. You're just lonely, mate. Like, you just really want to be a house part of your pals, and that's okay.
You can't cage this gorilla, actually. This gorilla just needs a cuddle off his mouth.
Totally.
This gorilla needs a cuddle, I like that.
Yeah, I might get it on a t-shirt.
I sat at my desk
looking out at the fields and the trees, thinking of something summery. But all I could see was unváistach. The rain, unváistach. Ag grada báistí, it pelting rain, or beating, trouncing down with rain. Ag grada báistí.
Nes I sôn bod ni'n rhyngwladol, Portugal, fydden ni'n siarad Tristan a Bowen.
Beth mae fe'n neud yn Portugal nawr?
Fi ddim yn gwybod. Joio.
Ie.
Joio.
Wel, ffindwn ni mas nes ymlaen a straeon y we. Ag wrth gwrs
Y quiz cyflym ar BBC Radio Cymru.
A wedyn, ni'n proper tropical, achos ni'n mynd i Abertawe.
I'd like now to invite Sonia Nick Giller Aspig up to the stage to speak about the category.
Div da, ta sha in the privilege ve an station shaw in UK and you. Agus mar chidgel and category shaw, vi nyard shimshiacht le clustalans and ranag shaw. Agus vi an kaijan inta erd miliana. It's great to be here with you all to present the Sound Award for Entertainment. This was an extremely strong category this year, full of vibrant, powerful interviews, music, poetry, laughter and audience participation. We, as a jury, spent a lot of time deliberating over this category, given the amazing entries and the wide range of content, each unique and worthy of a Torc in their own way. From the beautiful artistic Miscellany live in Aris and Wicktran from RT Radio 1, to Fescar from the beautiful Scottish island of Harris in the Hebrides from BBC Radio Nangale. We had a lively programme at Tarday from Radio Galega and the funny and engaging podcast I'm So Not Over It from Mighty Bunny. To another island off the Donegal coast, Arnmore, we had Boersgelte, a programme with a great mix of stories, music and laughter. The Lantern Scottish Poetry programme from the Scottish Poetry Library RSS stood out as a unique programme in this category, reflecting on not just the beautiful poetry, but on men's relationships as well. And then we also had a lively mix of music and chat from Shoy Southern by BBC Cymru. This category certainly had it all this year, but there can only be one winner. And the jury felt that one programme stood out and entertained us from beginning to end with great music, chat, laughter and engagement with their audience. Chain and Torc for radio entertainment ge Boersgelte.
Oh, yeah, I knew. Nero may do la show Harby. I really wasn't expecting this. I know everyone says that, but I'm still eating gum. I should have offered it up to the seagulls before I came in the door. But Tashoga Hinta, Vimsha Gobber Morleri har Ruchlar show, Agus Merson Boilum Mowiachas Horanul Hiadur Don Gure Le Gilear, Jobbing Tajacker Le Genugum, Egif, Agus Tigimshan. Agus is dói ahan bhliain tan caijan a gardu, agus codjin linne ar go jibre a bhéadú agus a dhéanú níos fér da hir. Bóil an fástam a bhuiachas chornúil da Michelle ní gríanna, leithar an chléir. Tá sí specialta, tá sí spáwer, da bar malé ar fá sé blianna, agus from a juréige milchana le heile, agus bhí se da fléisir agan bheith hiúl frígi tír, a gobar ar wersgelte, agus bhí se spáwer, agus níl maran le casalige, sib se bhil aniu govari. Jeru bhailam a bhuiachas chornúil da phobal eilena ar an mhór, bhí mu just see a couple of things ar an mór an seo in ar godjacht aniu. Bhí mu just see hin sin, agus bhí se da privilege agan a bheith a masc pobl inta géla, bhfuil a goltar le na grí gcónaí agus tá oberhóra dhéanú stíon sin acu gearín réalacha chorchan cin da hir, agus tá séanta tehaachta aganne an RTA radio na Gaeltachta gála má fríide phobal a gcónaí agus leanhamúid linn a gáilda sin. Emerla in English, I suppose I'd just like to thank the jury, everyone else who was on the shortlist, because I suppose we're all pushing each other and we're ensuring that our work's getting better year after year. Michelle, the presenter, I was working on the show as a producer for 6 years. She's just brilliant. She's just fabulous. She couldn't be with us here today, so she'll be just delighted. I could phone her. What do you think? Do you want to? We'll try it. I'll finish chatting and quickly, and we'll try and call her. But finally, sorry, I know everyone's really in a rush, etc. But we'll try and give it a wee bell and see what happens here. And finally, I'd like to thank the island community. Hey, Michelle, sorry, Michelle, ta ahan yn y geisio lad fwyla her, okay? So just be kurma, one mujin gradam. Aber hello. Wel, I gael ar egyd, aber rydyn nhw'n gas to go.
Tá má inta buiad an na Maltaí ar fád, agus tá sulas am gúil se bh bani saltas an éile, agus tá má inta buiad an na bhilna an sin.
Fair play, good on you, Michelle. So she's absolutely delighted. And finally, the island community of Elena Erin Ward, there's a few from the island here today. They're absolutely brilliant. It was just such an honour and a privilege to be there. And a lot of powerful voices, last thing, a lot of powerful voices in the room. And I think we should all do our best to highlight what's happening in Gaza right now. So, good mili moigaf.
Lorena, congratulations. Final 2 awards now, and the next award is one of our screen categories. It's the live music programme, and the nominees are...
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cry, the fluttering gory pinion, but Peggy dear, the evening's clear, thick flies the skimming swallow, the sky is blue, the fields in view, all fading green and yellow. Come
Leis go hiintach a bheith ar bus agus techt go baile, han tú a Manachan, nó han tú a Learfall, nó han tú a Swansea. Agus tá muid an aice leis an venue agus féidir colla beag go bheith agan an seo amar bit a rihan lei. Oscail an doras a féchan amach agus seohéim a leaba.
Let's welcome Kathy MacDonald to come to the podium to announce the winner.
Dydd da, fesgr magaf agus falt of vlad the vula. Isn't it great when the forecast is wrong? We've had a second day of sunshine here at Newquay, and I hope you haven't had your ice cream stolen, as it were, by a seagull. Live music, can I just say, what a joy of a category to adjudicate. So thank you to each and every one of you for some wonderful productions. And I think, you know, just at this time of day, it's just probably what we need for the wee sleepy heads up there. Can I just also recommend Rolly's Fudge down the road for a big sugar hit as well. But a real joy, because the thing with live music is it's never an easy category to judge, not least because, well, music, like comedy, is subjective, but is also one of the most inclusive forms of engagement we have at our disposal. And it's just so hard to say what's better than something else. It's one of the few things that can move us to an array of emotions within a matter of minutes, and its transformative powers go beyond anything legal. It moves and it heals and it gives life to everything, as the saying goes. This year's shortlist, once again, has illustrated the breadth of talent that we share. The richness of our heritage was highlighted through very different genres. Burns Night 2024, BBC Symphony Orchestra showcased Scottish talent with a modern twist, new voices making it more relatable to young audiences. And Bothy Band was an intimate front seat with one of Ireland's most influential traditional musicians celebrating 50 years of music as they prepared for a live gig combining history and archive. Canny Gimru enjoyed contrasting styles and genres as music hopefuls competed for the top spot. Hothouse Flowers were a tour de force that illustrated why they have so much intergenerational appeal and personality and pride in the language. Kemesque, a Breton musical ensemble, seamlessly went through musical mood changes whilst maintaining the energy of a live gig with clear engagement with their audience. And the innovative and unusual backdrop of a flower shop provided the setting for Carabella in session for a Di Sitio, a great concept for staging a show. But for the wonderfully candid musical journey, for sharing all those rich and nostalgic staging posts in their illustrious career, while weaving together massive cultural figures with younger generations of musicians in a vital, energised way, and delivering a triumphant reminder of their sheer talent and playfulness, this year's Torc for Excellence in Live Music goes to and Bothy Band.
Neil Big Mountain Productions and Sean, yeah, so I got a couple of focal raw son. Big Mountain Productions produced the Bothy Band for TG Cahill with commissioning from ILBF, Anya Walsh and Northern Ireland Screen, as well as commissioning me on. They'd like to thank the Bothy Band, Tom Sherlock, Sally Niquiver, who produced the programme, Gary Keane and Joe Edward for bringing the story and the concert to life. Gurmila Mahagi.
Kesla, congratulations. We've reached now the final award of today, and it's for children's programmes. The nominees are...
Plechut
Au Klaskpen, Sarah Bernard.
Sarah Piu.
Sarah en tragédianes. Yavat outro juju. Et pas de très grande vloise ou abédamment en vacances. Kizella, Obersou, Bigerbejin, Juari Tennis, Drebi Meren var Armeas, a Manda Chifreteza. O Quazeza on Bedzoken, Evelti, Talarmor, en Echador, Klezederroch.
Neusken Ober Zaza Bernard a Hanoudnehe.
Gavesket et Tenandei en Tomik?
Wakelur pa ou qual gati?
Drochik droch!
Goshi, Jimmy. Jimmy, no. Goshi. Hwnnw tri siami agra gleifabius that. Jimmy. Goshi. Jimmy, no, no.
Like me, Sophia was bullied for doing the thing that she loves.
I used to just play football on the yards with the boys, and the girls always seemed to have a problem with that. People just used to take the mick and say things to me to put me down because I wasn't like them, I wasn't into the same things as them. They used to call me things like a man or a boy or like a lesbian, like those type of things.
Sibse ag marachta. Mar a bhar na lochlannig. Beg tascana a gomdív, agus dúchláin a gomdív. Agus máis a bhín na tascana, agus na dúchláin na críochna. Beg tú in an, sohantas shearling a bhuachan. Anwyl Sifrig! Ta! Tagagilum!
He looked at Tevil's face on his shield and called out, "Help me, Tevil." After this, all the strength of his enemies flowed into him. With this, he went on to win many battles and gain a great kingdom. All thanks to the gift given to him by Tevil, Princess of the Ocean.
The brent geese have reached Arctic Canada, and it's a place that is very different to Ireland. Scientists believe that their migration and their appearance here may be explained by how they use key landmarks like mountains, rivers, and coastlines as a map. As they beat their wings above, the local young drummers have their own natural rhythm below.
Arlinia.
Only ddim moyn hala nhw. Ddim y rai. Ond ddim rhoi gymaint o bwys ar y fi i ddangos mwy a mwy. A rwy'n ffynu dweud na. A pan rhys i, oedd e ddim yn gwrando. Mae popeth mor messy. Fi wedi gwneud gymaint o mes.
I'd like to invite now Jonathan Farrelly to come to the platform to announce the winner.
Hello. Firstly, I want to echo what my fellow jury members said, that you should be really proud of yourselves, like genuinely. I mean, I judge for the Irish jury and I do the international jury as well, so I get to see everything that comes through from Ireland and internationally, and the standard is really, really amazing. And I am of the opinion that there should not just be one winner. That, like, genuinely, if you have a nomination, you've not only got through your own country, but you're representing the Celtic nations, and that's really special. So I genuinely think, hold on to that. Believe that you're fantastic and you deserve to be here and you deserve the recognition of all of us. So, there's a couple of names on there that I'm going to butcher, so I won't mention them, but take it from me, they were amazing pieces. I think genuinely they were all brilliant. I take a quick note on, so where the wild geese go was just really brilliant because it was a kind of genre twist on something. And just an overall note actually on everything is that we felt that in children's programming, it's a very fine line between pandering to children and treating them kind of with respect as a viewer. And we think that you've done that amazingly well, that all of the shows spoke to the viewer, and I would watch them. And we all said that we would watch them as kids, which is a compliment because we're all amazing, as you can see. But I've lost my train of thought now. Where the wild geese go, the general note that they were all really good, so that spoke to the kids really well, and then it came across really well. And then the Teevil, the one with the papier-mâché heads, that was fantastic. It was just so clever and so simple and so brilliant, and it made us laugh, and it was really quirky. And so they're the special mentions. But again, I'm going back on, I said that there shouldn't be a winner, but there is. So our winner, I think what it done for me is that it humanised Jack Grealish, who, if people don't know, Jack Grealish played underage football for Ireland, and then he switched to play for the English team. So in Ireland, he's not a very popular figure. I beg to differ. He's in this show and he's absolutely amazing, and he's really good with the kids, and he comes across as a really likeable guy. So it's about 3 kids there that were bullied, and again, just in the same thing of not pandering to kids or whatever, it deals with a very tricky situation really skillfully. It's produced well, it's directed well, it's just really, really nice and gives the kids a chance to tell their story, but they tell it in a positive way, because when we think of bullies and things like that, it's very emotional for everybody, and we can see that, you know, the kids are vulnerable and you feel sorry for them and all that, but the way that it's told, you see the hope at the end of it. So that's my long-winded way of saying that our winner is My Life I Was Bullied.
I didn't write anything because I genuinely wasn't expecting this. I mean, really, I need to thank those 3 kids, Brooke, Sophia and Alfie, absolute superstars who, you know, have been through such a kind of difficult time in their lives, but were prepared to talk about it and share some sort of advice, really, as to what they did to overcome the bullying that they'd experienced. So this is for them, first and foremost. But also big thanks to Joseph Haynes. This was the first film he directed. He did a brilliant job. And Gareth Owens, who cut the film. They worked brilliantly together. So big thanks to them. And yeah, thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr.
Congratulations, Kesla winner. That's it for our awards for today. But before you go, you're being invited to join Screen Cornwall outside for drinks, and that's to help celebrate Canuick being included in the media bill. So they do hope you will join them for that. We also hope to see you later at the Dead Famous for a few quiet drinks, I'm told. We'll be back here tomorrow, or not quiet drinks. We'll be back here tomorrow with a jam-packed final day of Celtic Media Festival. Fethin am ata avoro gans taulen lun rag dwetha dith the Gull Media Celtic. It's goodbye from me. Do get och.